What if Jesus Christ is coming back, but not in the way most people expect? Millions of Muslims believe that Jesus, known in Islam as Isa, was one of the greatest messengers of God. They believe he was born miraculously to Mary, performed incredible miracles by God's permission, and was raised by God instead of being killed. But here is where the story becomes truly fascinating. Islam teaches that the mission of Jesus is not finished. He will return to earth near the end of time. And when he returns, he will face one of the greatest deceivers humanity has ever known: the Dajjal. But why will Jesus return? What will happen when he comes back? And most importantly, what will Jesus say about the people who worship him? To understand this, we have to go back to the beginning. According to the Quran, Jesus was born to Mary without a human father. His birth itself was a miracle. Allah gave Jesus extraordinary signs. He healed the blind. He healed people suffering from serious illnesses. And, by God's permission, he even brought the dead back to life. But Muslims believe these miracles were not proof that Jesus was God. They were signs given by God to one of his messengers. Jesus called people to worship the one God. He did not come with a new message, telling people to worship him. He came to guide people back to God. But when some people plotted against him, the Quran says they did not kill or crucify him. Instead, Allah raised Jesus up. And this is where the Islamic belief about his return begins. Muslims believe Jesus is alive and will return before the end of the world. His return will happen during a time of enormous deception and chaos. One of the most important figures during that period will be the Dajjal. He will deceive people and claim extraordinary powers. Many people will follow him. But according to Islamic tradition, Jesus will return and confront him. Jesus will defeat the Dajjal and restore justice. And there is something extremely important about his return. Jesus will not come back to create a new religion. Muslims believe he will return as a servant of God, confirming the truth of monotheism. He will show humanity that he was never asking people to worship him. He was calling people to worship God. And the Quran gives us a powerful picture of what will happen on the Day of Judgment. Allah will ask Jesus whether he ever told people to worship him and his mother instead of God. And Jesus will answer that he never told them to do that. This is why the Islamic view of Jesus is so unique. Muslims deeply respect Jesus. They believe in his miraculous birth. They believe in his miracles. They believe he was the Messiah. They believe he was one of God's greatest messengers. And they believe he will return. But they do not worship him. Because in Islam, the miracles of Jesus point beyond Jesus. They point to the one who gave him those miracles. So the story of Jesus is not simply a story about the past. It is also a story about the future. A story about deception. A story about faith. A story about the return of a messenger. And ultimately, a story about one question. When Jesus returns, will humanity finally understand the message he came to deliver? Worship God alone.